Hello, it's me, Ariza Gaming. We're back with some more oxygen not included. The fish all seem to be playing around underneath the camera. I'm going to have to adjust this camera position when I get back. But I hope you're all doing well. We are actually probably going to set up our fish-based cooling today. A, because our base desperately needs cooling, because all of our mealwoods are kind of expiring. And B, because we want to, and that's the whole point of what we're doing. So, yeah, let's have a look at that. We're going to have our playlist music for a bit today. So here's our Gulp Fish. They're all a bit hot. That's fine. They're not scalding now. They scalded a bit yesterday because we had the temperature too high in here. We've got a metal refinery producing steel. That cooler pipe is running through here, but the Gulp Fish are actively cooling it a little bit. Also, we're inputting cold water from a geyser. This geyser is actually inactive for another 20 cycles. But we're going to speed through it, so we should actually get to the point where it operates again today. That would be nice, wouldn't it? So there's a couple of things we need to do. So our food supplies are getting a bit low because our mealwoods have stopped growing because it's too hot. So I'm going to shift some of them up here just for the meantime. And then we're actually going to set up some coal power plants, and then we can run a Thermo Aquatuner. And we can start cooling stuff down. And the ultimate solution to cooling for the Thermo Aquatuner will be the Gulp Fish. I have plans for them, and I will elaborate on them later. I would also, if we actually have any spare time, I would like to try setting up a mutant sleepweed farm. Because we've kept these guys here for no real good reason, other than I'm curious to see what they're going to do. So let's actually dig this out as well. I will put another few mealwoods up here. I'm hoping we're kind of getting past the point where we actually need them, because the Gulp Fish numbers are increasing now. We had a couple of eggs that ended up over here when they shouldn't have. But we're just going to move them back over here. I think it would be wise for us to put in some transformers as well, because we currently have a few different power grids. Let's actually use our overlays system. If we switch to overlays, this is a mod that I do actually have and occasionally use. It's very handy. So we've got the blue wire that's going to the arcade cabinet and to the metal refinery. We've got the pink wire that is going to everything else. So it seems like we just have two different conductive wires at the moment. That's fine. So, in terms of transformers then, what am I going to do with transformers? This seems like a pretty annoying space to put stuff because of the slime. Or maybe we stick them over here? I mean, let's see. We've got the coal generators. We can move the coal generators wherever we want. We've got the hydrogen. We've got the natural gas. This is actually reactivated. That's good. We should probably... Hold on, what's going on with this pipe? Why have you actually got some carbon dioxide in here? Oh, you've actually backed up now? That's fine. Let's set this to set green signal above 1,000. We don't want it just pumping random goop. This is a sign that we could probably actually set up some natural gas power plants. We can dump the natural gas power in here, right? I mean, the polluted water is going to be hot, but the Gulp Fish are going to be cooling stuff down. I think that is actually something we could do. Let's try it. So I think what we'll do in that case is we'll put some mesh tiles here so that all the polluted water just comes out here. Would I just insulate this whole bit? I guess I would. This seems like an interesting idea. I would like to geotune these vents as well. I'm not sure we're actually going to have enough gas for that to be worth doing. The gas does come out hot, but I don't really care about that. So we're going to make sure that the gas range has some, and then once the gas range has some, then we'll bridge it over here. And then that can come down here. I'm not totally convinced this is a good plan, but it's funny, so we're going to do it anyways. I think actually I would seal this off. I think that makes sense. Because eventually the metal refinery is actually going to get hooked up to the Gulp Fish reactor part of the build. That is going to go up here somewhere. So let's have a think about this. This is going to be a power plant. We're going to have 2 natural gas generators in here, right? Do I not have natural gas generators? Let's research those. Natural gas. There you go. Let's have a look at the loot. And let's speed things up as well, because we've got to make sure our polluted water vent is running again. I think that's kind of the whole premise here. Mush bar balloons. Nice, nice. It's probably worth a lot of filament. But yeah, this is going to be our second to last stream. I don't know exactly when my last stream before I go on holiday is going to be. The plan is Friday, but I might do it earlier if I need to. Because I need to make sure I actually have time to get everything sorted out for travel. In any case, the dupes seem to have plenty of time to do stuff now. Right, let's actually plant all the mealwoods in here. Then plant some more over here, and then I think we'll have enough food. And then, as this area heats up, we can start removing more mealwoods, and that should be fine. I just want to make sure we're recovering the dupes' calorie surplus, as it were. Yeah, we have loads of Gulp Fish eggs now, that's good. Quite excited by all this, actually. Right, so mesh tiles. I think I will just have all of those be mesh tiles. This kiln will stay here, because it's where we're getting our refined carbon from. We can set up a canister filler and have some soda fountains as well. That sounds like a good plan. Maybe that's what we do for now, is we just use natural gas generators to run some recreation buildings. I can keep fitting them over here. I could make a rec room over here, maybe? I don't know, I kind of like having them up here. Here you go. We'll fit something of interest over here. This whole base layout is kind of weird in general. So I was looking at the George speedrun videos, because we did definitely speedrun George on this map, and I've now remembered. Because we had the iron volcano right here, and the George came out as flatulent, and we weren't having any of that, so we just scolded him to death on the iron volcano. Glad we got George now. George is going to be our builder extraordinaire. I think we'll also set up some more coal power plants. Because the other thing we're going to want to do, we've got 86 tons of coal. We're going to want to set up quite a few Aquatuners, because we should be able to cool down quite a lot of Aquatuners simultaneously. And I want to see how far we can really max this out. And then maybe we'll finish off with a hatch ranch at the end. But yeah, let's get the research done first. Dupes still have plenty of stuff to do. If they run out of other things to do, they can just grab metal from the volcanoes. Doesn't seem like any gold is making it out of here. It looks like they've collected it all. These volcanoes are both dormant now. We do actually have a saltwater vent over here. I don't think we're actually going to use that for anything, if I'm being really, really honest. Also, is my mic coming through okay? I think it is, yeah. Do we need to keep making lice loaves? I will keep making them for now. Because we've got some water we want to get rid of, but I'm probably not going to fixate on that for too long. Yeah, I guess we'll just speed up for now. Want to keep getting more fish. I think once they take a certain amount of damage, it just stays shown up. I don't think they're overheating on anything specific over here. This bit is slightly too warm, but it's just one single tile. The rest of this polluted water is actually cooling down. I've ended up with some polluted water in here. That's funny. think it's okay. We're still feeding all of the Gulp Fish all of the mealwood seeds. We should have plenty of mealwood seeds. The amount is decreasing, I must say. But yeah, all the Gulp Fish are ending up in here. You can see each of these fish spawns cold. They're in the water. They're in 800 kilograms of water. This is cooling down relatively well. So this means we can run the metal refinery a bit more. The only thing being, we are actually out of lime. I'll tell you what we will do. When we actually want to run this again properly, we will get more fossil mined. Right, we actually have the natural gas generators now. Good. So these could go here. If we have a look at our vents, this vent has a total average of 86. That's pretty weedy. Each of these runs 90, so even if we geotune it, we definitely won't need more than 2. So let's make these out of gold amalgam, put them here. I believe the water comes out of the tile of interest. I guess we'll see. I don't think there's anything else we want to put in here, so this could go into the intake, and then I guess we'll want a smart battery as well, won't we? Let's see. If I remove these doors, does it stay a power plant? I imagine it would, right? There's no rule against having a heavy industry in a power plant, right? Because then if we actually shift this around a little bit. Yeah, let's actually shift this around a little bit. Then we can actually fit the kiln and a smart battery in here, and the smart battery can go here. Seems reasonable. This wall probably doesn't need to be insulated now, does it? So I could make this regular tiles. Could save some material. Yeah. Not that we have any shortage of rock, but it feels silly keeping it for no reason. Joshua, you can have supplying. Let's get Joshua to mechatronics as well. Everyone's going for a surf. Good. We did have some iron straight from the volcano that we dumped in here, but it was a bit too hot, so we're letting it sit in the carbon dioxide and not really heat anything up. It's only these tiles which I'm a bit concerned by. We are also getting more omelette production out of these Pacu eggs. We did unfortunately have the setting. We did unfortunately have the setting set to raw egg being picked up in here, so it didn't work. Hello, how you doing? Battery can go anywhere, even above. Yeah, that's true. But I think I can fit everything in here anyways. I think we're going to have the actual fish experiment up here, so I want to make sure we're not constraining the space. Right, let's try this. And then each one of these produces 800 watts, so if we just tune one of them, then that should do. It would probably also make sense to me to just hook the metal refinery up to the natural gas, right? No. Oh, maybe. I think we need some actual... I think we need some actual transformers. We can put transformers somewhere. That's fine. All I know is I want the polluted water to go in here, because we need to make sure these guys can keep filtering it. And I know it's going to be really hot, but it's fine. It's not actually going to be that hot. It comes out at least 40 degrees C, or hotter if the building is hotter. Yeah, see, this counts as a power plant. So we can just get this hooked up now. Yeah, you got the natural gas. We actually want a canister filler to go somewhere. Where do I want that to go? Oh, here. Perfect. There's nothing else I want to put in this room, is there? Let's see. Lab. No industrial machinery. A canister filler isn't industrial machinery, right? Let's make sure we got that. Hope we do well out of the herd. Yeah, let's get that. It's always funny that this tech is like completely separated from everything else. So you literally never get it unless you want something specific from that tech. You're good, but you're looking for help? No worries, I'm sure I could help. Well, maybe. And if I can't help, chat can help. So, fire away. Yeah, I love this paint wires overlay mod. I guess you can see it on this view as well. That's fine. Right, so let's see. This is going to go here. This is going to be set to 10 and 90. This is going to go here, and then the refinery. Kiln is going to go here. And then the carbon dioxide, we just want that to go... Oh, God. Probably just like this. Oh, yeah, it's gonna go like this. That's fine. I was trying to use chlorine to clear the germs of my polluted water reservoir that was filtering and making clean water, but the gas filter somehow let the chlorine to my base instead of the reservoir chamber. What do I do now? If you have access to Dash Assault Vines, they can eat the chlorine for you. That's how I like to clean chlorine out of random pockets. Chat can help. There are a lot of trolls in chat. I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of trolls in this chat. I mean, not compared to usual. I don't know. You don't necessarily have to restart. What you could do is you could set up a general gas pump in your base somewhere. You could set it up with a gas element sensor. Oh god, I really don't have a lot of sensors, do I? No, they're over here. You can set up with a gas element sensor, so if it detects chlorine, it activates. And then you could set up a pipe. And then you can send that pipe over to somewhere else, and then you can put a gas element sensor on it and a vent. And then if it detects chlorine, dump it in the other room. You could do that. Or you could use the gas filter building. It's a little power expensive, but it's relatively foolproof. You can just set the filter on the building directly and have it come out of the orange filtered port. Use the built-in filter and misunderstood which is which. Yes. But if you have access to Dash Assault Vines can be pretty good. They are found in sort of like rusty biomes, if you have them on your asteroid. And they just eat chlorine. And you feed them... Hold on, let's have a look. Let's have a look, because we don't have any. Yeah, it eats a little bit of sand and some chlorine. Yeah, small amount of chlorine. 6 grams per second, and then it produces a large amount of salt. That's what you want. I chose the orange filter to filter out chlorine. It ended up throwing into my base. Oh no. Rip. If you post in the Discord as well, people might have more specific feedback. You've got like a screenshot of what you're doing. Welcome back to the Church of the Canister Bottler. Yes! We're gonna get some soda fountains in here. Maybe we just put the soda fountain in here instead of the water cooler. I kind of like the heat resistance, though. I think that's probably helping the dupes out a little bit. Right. So we now have the canister filler that goes here. And then the rest of the CO2, I guess I'm just going to dump out here. But yeah, pumping all your gases into a canister filler can be helpful as well, because then it will separate it out, and you can adjust the slider to dump specific cans. So you can just dump cans of chlorine on the floor. It is manual, but it is a good way of just filtering out gases when you're generally pumping them out of your base. It's a pretty good technique, actually. Right, set this trified carbon. I think we'll make like 5 lots, and then I think I want you to just always make ceramic, right? Are we probably going to want ceramic for something? Okay, let's just do that, actually. Let's just make ceramic in here. We do also, actually, want to send oxygen back into this room. So I'm planning on liquid locking it. Yeah. And then this one we will disable Tinker on. So we only Tinker on here and get 2... And then we only get 2 kilowatts out no matter what. Okay. And then this wire.
Thanks for the follow.
What do I want to do? Thank you very much for follow. Out of the herd. Enjoy your fishy and froggy emotes. Whiskers sends her regards. All the fish are hanging out in the bottom of the tank, but actually, Whiskers is right here. There's Whiskers. She says thanks. Pick chlorine, it's gonna come out orange. Yeah, the fish have been here for a while. They've been here for over 3 years now. They're having a good time. And the frogs have that tank all for themselves because they kept harassing any tank mates. But yeah, we are fish and frog enthusiasts, and you now have access to a few different emotes. What's going on here, mate? Let's just sweep that out. I don't want the fish flowing back into this area, if we could help it. Something involving door opening shenanigans. We have a load of polluted water in here now. I think it's probably fine. Weird. So you meant to make the orange just be where I want the gas to be coming out? Yeah, the filtered gas. Orange is for the filtered gas. You need a pipe connected up with it. Right, are you actually running now? You are. Okay, so you're not actually connected to anything. Let's just make this completely independent and hook this up to our Thermo Aquatuner, right? Do I want to set up Geotuners as well? Because there's not a lot of gas here. I think the answer is maybe. Now, if I was going to put Geotuner labs anywhere, where would I put them? I could put them down here. Slime is kind of in the way. If I set them up here, this is actually just about enough room for all the Geotuners. Let's do it. Let's just put the Geotuners here. The fish experiment, I think, can go over here, actually. That should be fine. So long as it's somewhere where we can actually just transport the fish to. Okay, so Geotuners should be pretty straightforward. We're going to set up... Oh god, here's a sax song. What we need to do is we need to actually just get our power system sorted out first. There you go. There's the music. My favorite song that I complain about but don't seem to have removed from the playlist yet. Right, let's put these all in here. And we'll just shove Abyssalite into those geysers and get more gas. It seems worthwhile. Let's face it, we kind of know what we're doing now. Yeah, this seems fine. And then in terms of the lamps, because we need the lamps to actually get the bonuses. Mining ceiling lamps. I think I was trying to actually use all of the... No, wait, I don't want that, do I? I want that, don't I? Yeah, I think so. We'll drywall everything on the last stream, I think. We're actually running out of gold because the volcanoes have run out. Or they're shall we say the volcanoes are taking a break. This will do. You had to quit after cycle 80. I got new PCs to start playing again and somehow crossed 133 cycles. Will this fuck up happen? I'm happy with this run. Nice. Yeah, we're on max difficulty, so we've got low morale, dupes eat twice as much food. What was that noise? Heard a popping noise. Anyways, I think we're fine. But yeah, and the dupes are 3 times as susceptible to radiation poisoning. So yeah, we're having a lot of fun here. But it's actually working pretty well, I must say. Provided that we're not leaking natural gas into the base. Which I don't think we are. Okay, a tiny little bit got down here. That doesn't count. Do yourself a favor, there's a guy called Tony Abasi. He never did much of his stuff is way above almost everyone. He's got like 5 videos, but each one is required learning. You know, I've never actually watched the Tony Advanced videos. Maybe I should do that at some point. So, what we're going to do, conveyor loader here, and then we're going to have a load of conveyor receptacles, and then auto sweepers. So, I think what we'll do is auto sweeper here, auto sweeper here, auto sweeper here. We're going to have to actually switch to iron now. There. Mechanical filters. Mechanical filters are really good too. We haven't really been using many mechanical filters recently, but they, it's a good trick. So we're just going to load up these receptacles with abyssalite. And this should be absolutely fine. The good thing about these abyssalite guys is, yes, it's, not very resource efficient in terms of geotuning compared to magma volcanoes, but it's very simple. And that's all we're looking for at the moment. And we don't have any magma volcanoes, so it is what it is. You seem to be taking more damage. Is there hot water in here now? There's a tiny little bit over here. Salt water in here? Oh, we do have salt water in here. Oh, that's rubbish. That's not going to conduct any heat properly. I guess we'll get you to build another ice temperature plate in here. I guess you're only going to be able to reach that once we actually get down this way. In fact, if I put a ladder here, you can probably reach it, right? Mechanical filters. Yeah, I would watch the Tony Advanced videos, if there are Tony Advanced videos on mechanical filters. I don't actually have a specific video about mechanical filters here, but I don't really have time to talk about it too much now. I had a steam vent, but the base fucked up before I could even try to harvest it. Yeah, cool steam vents are kind of annoying. We just blocked this one off. We do have a good build for it, or should I say we use the Luma Plays build for it. That's what we do every time, really. If I can help it. Or I stick it in some kind of sauna room. But I'm probably not going to bother with that this time, just because of where everything is laid out. Yeah, looks like some of the fish are taking damage, which is not good. I think they're just getting in that corner. I'm going to set this to 23 degrees, just in case. But yeah, I know there's heat creeping in from over here, so maybe they're getting in this corner. Right, let's speed it up. Dupes have plenty of stuff to do. So we'll get them to keep building all the Geotuners. And then, yeah, this seems fine. And then in terms of the actual power, so the issue is hydrogen is actually backed up in here. So we probably actually need to start consuming it first. You know, because this isn't actually going to help us. Did we succeed in cooking any of this slime? No. Obviously, we can make more space for hydrogen up here. But don't think we necessarily need to. Is this just a case of us... Okay, are we actually tuning this? It's not in a power plant. Oh, right. I think we were tuning it and then it got turned off. Well, build a door then. How many dupes is too many dupes? Too many dupes is so many that they lag your computer out. Generally, you have enough water sources on the map. Make sure you hook up your water sources first for your electrolyzers, and then you can have as many dupes up to the amount of electrolyzers you can run off of those water sources. Really. But the actual main constraint is lag. Because the more dupes you have, the laggier your game will get. But yes, Quantum Zara is quite right. Otherwise, you need to make sure you have enough oxygen, you need to make sure you have enough food. And food is a lot more relevant than oxygen on max difficulty. Because the dupes breathe the same amount of oxygen as they normally do in the base game. We did a run where we had all mouth breathers, and that felt considerably different than this. Let's get digging one. Yeah, I guess they're building all of this. This is fine. So, what about the actual fish unit? I think we'll do it over here. So, we got this down here. I don't actually know what this is fully going to look like. I'm going to put a unit over here. I think what we'll do is we'll make a room where we put a load of Thermo Aquatuners. If we make it 9 wide, we can fit up to 3 Thermo Aquatuners in here. I think that will do. We'll put a little ladder in this side as well. We'll dig these tiles out, and then we can tile this. The way to solve the long commutes problem is to learn to ignore the notification. Yeah, pretty much. It's just how it is. At the end of the day, if you have enough dupes, it doesn't matter if their labor is inefficient. You're still getting everything done. But yes, fire poles, transit tubes, just making sure that your key items are close together. Like our bathrooms are close to our Great Hall, close to the bedrooms. So their downtime is quite efficient. If the dupes are running around, if they're starving and they're constantly having to go fetch food from across the map and come back and interrupt their errands, that's going to be a lot of extra unnecessary travel time. Similarly, you ideally want to store building materials at your base so they can build without having to go back to where the building material is all the time. But I often don't do that because it takes dupe labor to get it there in the first place. Yes, enable proximity as well. Go to priorities, click this button, click enable proximity. Very important. I don't know. I think it's just a placebo, to be honest, but I don't know. I don't leave home without it. Right, Thermo Aquatuners. Let's set up just the one for now. We'll set it up in the middle. So let's put the pipe on. Do I want to make this out of ceramic? I don't think so. So we're going to set that up like this. We're going to have the liquid pipe thermo sensor here. I can make this out of iron, that's fine. You don't want to make Thermo Aquatuners out of gold amalgam because they're not very conductive. And unless you have them literally in like a conductive liquid like oil at all times, it will overheat, even at 175 degrees C. You never use enable proximity to yourself and just forget it exists. Yeah, someone has to do like an actual test to see what difference it makes. Yeah, so the Thermo Aquatuner, we're going to hook this up, so we're going to do it slightly differently than usual, but basically you want to make sure that it's running when the liquid is above a certain temperature and then it cools down. And then, for actually running it, we're going to put a liquid bridge in here. So, and then we're going to connect up the outlet pipe like this, so it's going up from the port onto the bridge. And what that means is whatever loop we set up, it's going to prioritize dumping the cold water over recirculating the loop. The loop will recirculate if the water doesn't need cooling, but otherwise this will activate and it will run through the Thermo Aquatuner. This is very important, as they say. But the actual pipe itself will look slightly different. So, we want to make a nice big pool of polluted water here. Because this is where we're going to have... This is where we're going to heat up the polluted water, dump the heat from the base into here via the Thermo Aquatuner. This is going to cool down the liquid and heat up, and then the liquid will run throughout the base and cool everything else down because this stuff is all getting too hot. And I think we're better off just running a fixed amount of coolant through here rather than hooking the geyser up through here. I think we want to hook the geyser up to this room. This game makes me want to learn physics and chemistry better. Yes, one thing I would say, the rules of this game are adjacent to real life. Down works too to keep it compact. Yes, down does work as well. It depends where you want your pipe to go. It does depend where you want your pipe to go. We'll have a think about that in a minute. Right, let's just start dumping some polluted water in here. We could also put a load of polluted ice in here. So, yeah, we can make 4 temperature plates of polluted ice. That will help. So we're going to want to fill that up, and then we're going to want to put some airflow tiles here. Ultimately, we want a thin layer of polluted oxygen between the polluted water and whatever liquid we're actually suspending our Gulp Fish in. How do you get steel? You have to get it from a metal refinery. You have to make iron, refined carbon, and lime into steel. Iron comes from refining iron ore into iron or from metal volcanoes. You can also find refined iron just in the Badlands asteroids. In those big blocks of rock, there's veins of refined iron. You get refined carbon from running a kiln, converting coal or peat into refined carbon, or wood, actually, I think, as well. There's a few different options. And lime, you usually get from the rock crusher, and you crush a lot of different things. Eggshells, fossil, poke shell melts. Fossil is usually your biggest source, because you can just find it in the oil biome. But there's no other way of making it other than using a metal refinery, so you have to get one set up at some point. Also, these fish need to actually have a temperature plate here. I reckon. So please build that one first. These fish are getting a little scolded. That's not good. I mean, you're a fairly old fish, so that's not the end of the world. But if we've got like a young fish getting scolded, you're pretty old too. This is actually probably acceptable. Yeah, there's a lot of things to do. I played this game for over 3,000 hours, and I barely feel like I'm actually getting the hang of it. Yeah, there's a lot to do. Right, so polluted water can dump in here. The Thermo Aquatuner we're going to want to hook up to natural gas. We will probably hook up more later on. Geotuners are all set up. Let's set up the natural gas ones first. The good thing about these is they make a funny noise when you activate them. Plug these in as well. We have too many things plugging up here. I think let's plug the Geotuners in here. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Let's just do this. In fact, I'm actually going to take this wire and send it all the way up here. And then we will just disconnect this. And then you can remove all of these. Oh, I probably don't want to run the natural gas Geotuners off of off of the natural gas power plant, right? Just in case we run out of gas. So let's actually do something a little different for this one. I think this one can plug into the main line. And then the others can stay as they are. This is all of our hydrogen power. This is all coming from the spot. We have a large amount of hydrogen backed up, so obviously we're running a large amount of consumers through this. We're running the metal refinery on this, so I don't want to plug a Thermo Aquatuner into that. I think we're gonna have to set up some transformers somewhere. Because we're gonna end up being able to run multiple Thermo Aquatuners off of the Gulp Fish. Food seems to be stable now. That's good. In fact, they haven't even planted these ones. Let's plant these ones. And then plant these ones. What do you do with the excess hydrogen from the electrolyzers? It's backup power. So, because the electrolyzers are submerged, the gases are just exiting into here and here respectively at all times. This pressure will build up forever. So this is basically a giant battery, and we can just pump this hydrogen to hydrogen generators to power more stuff. We've actually stored up enough that realistically we could probably run another Thermo Aquatuner off of it for quite some time before we ran out of hydrogen. There's the fish. The guy's cooling down now. This seems to be going alright. You are still making some more steel as well, that's good. Right, let's actually priority 9 the temperature plates, because I think you'll struggle to do that otherwise. Let's also enable auto bottle on these. Is there just a random lump of polluted water we can come grab? Like, oh, where's a good one? This is a good one. Yes, let's just do this. Yeah, it's so good. This is like the first video I made, is how to trick the electrolyzers so you can get the gases to store up infinitely and separate out neatly. That's so important. Yeah, if you do these, and then if you do this, then we can build the pitcher pump. In fact, actually, dig this, and then we can put the pitcher pump up here. Then you can pump all of that polluted water into this room. We just want to make sure there's enough that it actually all falls down. Oh, these aren't going to melt for ages, are they? Oh no. We'll figure it out. We'll get rid of these now. We don't need any more liquids in here. I'm glad that the fact that we poured too much salt water in here didn't end up making a big difference. Do that as well. We found some more mutant mealwoods as well. And nobody's coming to fertilize the stuff. That's no good. What would you say is the most valuable resource in the game? Well, I mean, ultimately your dupes need oxygen. It is what it is. Steel is pretty handy for the overheat temperature. Look, I got exosuit training. Having materials with good overheat temperatures lets you get away with a lot. Steel is pretty easy to get early access to if you have something to dump your coolant into. That could be pitcher pepper plants, that could be like a steam turbine area, etc. The most valuable resource is player time. Oh man, we invest too much time in this game. I think we'll keep this set to above 7 degrees. I don't think we're actually trying to cool this coolant loop down to a specific amount. We're just going to have this run. So let's have a think as well. So at the moment I've got it set up to dump the excess from the geyser into here and then have a load of things there. You know what, can we just fill this room first? I would quite like to just do that. Put another pitch pump there. They're spending a lot of their time just sorting out the meal ice. And picking up seeds and feeding them to Paku. Christ. You know, I haven't actually looked at this. These days my friends ask me what I'm thinking about and I just say nothing in the back of my head. I'm wondering if I'll have enough food or oxygen for my dupes tonight. Yeah, when I go for a walk at lunchtime, I'm just like thinking about what I'm actually going to do today. We actually need the power wires to run. We need this power wire to run so that we can actually get the Geotuners activated. So let's probably line the wire here. Yeah, we've done alright. We didn't actually murder any dupes today, so, or in this playthrough yet, which I'm honestly quite surprised about. Yeah, I think setting this to 23 degrees is a good idea. The polluted water level is dropping. That will probably be fine. I think eventually we don't actually have to have these ones filter any water. We can have them filter natural gas plant output, but that's not a lot. Yeah, they really haven't actually been tending all these mealwoods very thoroughly. I guess they have better things to do. As far as the most valuable material, it depends how you calculate value. Is it one that is the rarest measured in kilograms, or is it the most one that getting your most first bit of unlocks the most stuff you can do? Reed fiber is very important. From the thimble reed or from the Draco, so you can make Atmo Suits. That lets your dupes actually get out and about into the rest of the asteroid and into space. Otherwise, you're going to have a real problem, especially now that chilly surroundings and toasty surroundings have such an impact on the game. If you don't have access to any source of reed fiber, your run is going to look a lot different. That's why I put thimble reeds at the top of the plant tier list, because if you don't have thimble reeds, your run and how you're actually structuring your gameplay looks completely different. But favorite useful materials? I I love the gold, just for the gold star tiles, for the decor, and for the conductivity, and... It's a very low heat metal as well. Gold volcanoes hardly generate any heat, so you can just freely let them erupt most of the time. Are the Atmo suits the white astronaut thing on the dupe's head? Yes, they're these things. You make them with a suit dock, or an exosuit forge rather, which is this building. You can't make exosuits out of gold, which I'm pretty sad about. Plastic's pretty good too. Supercoolant is the late game resource. Once you get to the point where you can actually make supercoolant by getting to the water asteroid and getting the fillering from that, or from the geothermal heat pump on the Frosty Planet Pack DLC, once you can do either of those things, supercoolant just completely changes the game. Because it means you can run your Thermo Aquatuners power positive off of steam turbines. Because these actually transfer heat based on the heat capacity of the coolant. So usually it's going to be water because it's a high heat capacity and it's an abundant liquid. But supercoolant has almost double the heat capacity. And it's more conductive as well. So you can actually get some real crazy stuff going on with supercoolant in pipes. Right, looks like these are actually activated. That's good. We can set this to the hydrogen. We can set this to the hydrogen one as well. I don't think it's actually going to be a big issue if some of the abyssalite is wasted. For being real, let's actually add abyssalite to the list. See how much we got. But we should have a lot of abyssalite. We have 83 tons. Yeah. These don't use very much. So you just set this to abyssalite, load this manually, then we don't have to load all these geotuners individually. Right. When are we going to get people to dump polluted water in here? I guess I'm going to yellow alert it.
Killer fish.
Hello, Jenna, please.
Killer fish from
Killer
San
fish.
Diego. I don't know what I am, but I taste really good. I'm a killer fish. Hello. I'll be your killer fish.
Oh my
for
god.
the evening. Thank you.
We've been duped. Actually, it's a very good likeness. Yes. Very good. Right, the temperature plates have all melted. This is good. That is good. I want to make sure that we've got more polluted water in here. We need a fair bit. The issue with this setup as well is we need the polluted water to keep coming in for the setup to not break. It doesn't matter if there's polluted oxygen in this bit. But when the Gulp Fish are actually actively cooling, they have to take in the hot polluted water to poop out the cold regular water. So I think what we need to do... So we know that we're going to have a thermo sensor in here. I can go there. This is actually going to be an AND gate, because we need to make sure that this Thermo Aquatuner doesn't activate if the room is too hot to the point where it would boil the liquids. That's what I meant about it being different than usual. We don't have to put that thermo sensor everywhere. So what I'm thinking is we actually put a liquid vent here. I know we're going to have a second Thermo Aquatuner at some point, and possibly even a third. But we don't have to worry too much about that yet. So we would again do... I'm going to plug that one in later. So we would again do something like this, wouldn't we? Yeah, like this. Insulate is expensive to make, but not very game-changing. Yeah, I would say the same with Visco Gel. Most of the stuff you can do with Visco Gel, you can do just by tricking regular liquids. Visco Gel is more of a quality of life thing. So we want to make sure the Thermo Aquatuner only sends a green signal if it's below 120 degrees, I think. Like gold making bleach stone and oxalite, that's true. When you don't have puffs and all you can do is the oxalite refinery, you kind of do need it. And for the bleach stone hopper too. So this one, I think we would bypass this one down. So that could go like that, and then that could go in here. Hey, look at that. Look at that. We can just have them hooked up in series. Alveovira plants rock. Alveoviras are interesting, but they're quite labor intensive. I still need to do a sandbox showcase video on them, but I've kind of been putting it off because it feels like a fairly niche topic compared to some of the other ones that we're covering, but they are good. Okay, look. Let's actually just find a load of extra polluted ice, right? It would be nice... Oh, right, liquefiables. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so... Where's the easiest to grab? Okay, there's some pretty easy to grab polluted ice in here. Let's go ahead and grab that. Yeah, if we priority 9 these digs, we'll just build a load more temperature plates. You do need to do a mechanical filter video. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Alveovira being affected by fertilizer is the most OP thing ever. I mean, I would argue that is like the thing that justifies you actually doing it in the first place. It does make it more water efficient than your electrolyzer, which is probably worth the effort it takes to actually make ice with them. There is a pretty good payoff, but there's just a lot of moving parts compared to just setting up an electrolyzer. And to be honest, there aren't that many cases where you don't have enough water for your dupes. You're not usually... Usually, the power you get from the electrolyzer and the hydrogen is more important than the extra oxygen you get out of the alveoviras. Because remember, you have to actually produce all the carbon dioxide for them as well. I'm sure you're sure I'd be more charismatic than Tony Barnes. Oh, thank you. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said about me. Right, we just need to dump more polluted water in here. Let's just do this. So, 1, 2, 3. 29 this. It doesn't need to be completely full. I just want to get it started. And then what we actually need to do, so this pipe here, this actually needs to go up here. And then I think this needs to be insulated. Let's make this ceramic. No, that one doesn't need to be ceramic. Let's do it like that, and then this polluted water pipe can come back down here. That's fine, right? So, just remove this, just build that pipe. So it will dump it in the room first, and if it can't dump it in the room, it'll dump it elsewhere. That's what we want. Oxygen is like a waste product in the late game, yeah. What if I like ranching little hair slicksters? They turn a waste product into tasty barbecue. Yeah, we've never really done long hair slicksters, but you're right. You're right, alveoviras do let you get meat from fertilizer and carbon dioxide. Is that better than slicksters? I think so. I think we're learning that slicksters aren't quite as good as I thought they were, because they're very low throughput per critter, and that actually matters a lot. Right, well, these dupes are getting most of the skills they want. Saturn critter traps are game-changing. We need to do a video about that as well. I have so many Sandbox Showcase videos I want to do when we get back. I have so many of them. But I promise people we'll do the Rust Melter video first. I'm very nearly done with that. That should go out before we go to Australia. So much hydrogen for so little effort. I know. I need to make that video just to get me to actually start doing it in games. It's literally game-breaking. And I've never done it because I couldn't be bothered to learn. Which is a really bad excuse. Right. We can remove these. Also, I can actually put some... I can put some carpet tiles in here as well. Let's do that. Yeah, get them out of here. Reed fiber stocks are looking good. That's good. People overestimate the oil production of slicksters. They're much better for me. Yes. I mean, obviously it's very nice, but it is very low throughput. I feel like that's going to kind of be annoying and sour gas will bust when we come back to that run. I don't know why I'm even looking at this. We know we're not going to print anything from it ever again. I could even disable it, couldn't I? Nah, that feels wrong. Disable the printing pod. Right, you're actually building these now. That's good. Yeah, it looks like mealwood seeds are still going up. That is nice. We have many, many, many gulp fish in here now. That's good. This water is heating up too much. I think the heat from the iron is just bleeding out now. So we could put, let's see, maybe just another couple of ice temperature plates in here for now. Let's keep looking around for easy liquefiables. So I think we want to dig these before they get out of hand. Maybe something like, How do we even get down here? Guess just build this ladder. I don't really want you to melt. There are a lot of ways to generate water on not knocking Rexes, but the most OP thing in the game are pips. Yes, pips and wild planting are so strong that I actually kind of don't do them because I think it makes the game boring. Because it just turns all of your resource problems into a space problem. And finding enough space to do stuff on a classic asteroid is not interesting or difficult. So, yeah, you don't need to worry about it, really. And wild planting arbitraries just lets you do whatever you want. It's so powerful. So that's why we don't usually bother. Right, you just need to dump a little bit more polluted water in here. Oh, this ladder won't do. You need to put the ladder here. And then you can remove this, and then you can come and dig these. You do actually need to grab and cook all those sleepweed grains as well, by the way. I agree with that. It turns everything into a space problem. Yeah, I feel like if I was actually... I think if I was the dev, I would make it so that pip planting was not free. I would make it so that it drastically reduces the food cost, the resource cost, by down to like a quarter. But you still have to do it. Because it's less interesting when there's no resource cost. That's just it. I mean, other critters pollinate plants very well, so obviously you don't want the pips doing that. But I guess at this point, so many people's builds rely on it not using resources, you really wouldn't want to actually change it. This is still too hot. We're trying. Yeah, you're gonna cook yourself. No? Well, you're lucky then. How old are you? You're 18. That's acceptable. I'd be fine if they made it easier in general. What do you mean? Pip planting. I mean, we have the pip planting overlay mod. Just shows you which tiles pips can actually plant in, gives you the rules. Doesn't actually change it in the gameplay, just tells you what to do. I think this should be base game. Like, have it unlock when you have a pip. Right, let's put some more temperature plates in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that should be enough polluted water, and then we can cover this all up. We probably want to grab all of the random debris in here as well. I kind of want to wait until we have more steel in here as well. Pip Street is so good, I argue Oasis is actually one of the easiest maps. I want to go back to Oasis so we can make proper use of the sauna heat deletion trick. Because that's pretty powerful as well, and we haven't really done that in a run. And I'd like to show it off. In terms of the wire, I think the wire is just going to come out here for now, and then this wire will come down here, and then I'll figure out where exactly they're going later. Oh, you don't know about the sauna trick? Oh, the sauna trick is great. It is on the YouTube channel. But basically, let's see, do we even have the sauna available? I don't think we do. We don't have wood. If you look up the sauna, it says that the water comes out at the temperature of the input materials. That's not true. It comes out at 80 degrees C all of the time. So if you feed it cold steam, say it's coming in from a low volume pipe that's running like very cold steam, it will generate heat. Or if you're running it with very hot steam, i.e. maybe you've got a steel gas pump and you're running 275 degrees C steam through it, that gets cooled down all the way to 80 degrees C when it comes out of the sauna. And if you have enough dupes, they can just be on schedules. They can be constantly running the sauna, and you're constantly cooling your water very quickly. It's very strong. Much stronger than the ethanol Aquatuner heat deletion trick. The main issue is you just need to have dupes, and they need to be using the sauna. But it's not that bad. Yeah, it is insane. I did a YouTube video on it. But it doesn't really come up that much. Well, it kind of does, because you ultimately want your dupes using the sauna to get the morale buff anyways, right? But it also comes up because, yeah, saunas don't require a lot of power. And it's a benefit that your dupes are getting anyways, so you may as well have that alongside your steam turbines. Like, if you're running saunas anyways, you might as well delete heat with them. But we haven't really bothered doing that yet. And it makes sense for Oasis as well, because you have access to trees for wood. So you can make a sauna pretty quickly. Okay, this is actually filled all the way up now. That's good. So let's speed it up. Let's keep getting you to do all of this. What are you taking in here? Clay. Did I actually want to do that? No. Well, if you want to have real fun with hot steam oil well, yeah. People make fun for me. People make fun of me for using the sauna in the hot tub. I don't use the hot tub. The hot tub annoys me, but the sauna is very strong in the right circumstances. We have built saunas in a lot of our runs as well. Let's see. Suppress current on these. That's fine. I put saunas in my industrial area so I can call them an industrial sauna. Yes, exactly. There you go. And then you're actually using the term correctly. Good. Oh, actually, before we move on, I got myself a present. I'm not sure if you can see this. Look. Oh, hold on. Yeah, there you go. It's a room climate station. So I know the room temperature already because of the fish tank and stuff. But it also tells me the humidity of the room, and it tells me the carbon dioxide concentration in the room. Because I was really interested in this, because I wanted to see whether the carbon dioxide was building up when we stream and whatnot, when we're in a small room with the windows closed and the doors shut. And the answer actually is yes. You don't really want the CO2 level in your room to get more than 1000 ppm. Otherwise you start to feel the effects a little bit. It's very minor. I'm sure part of it is just hypochondria, but like, I didn't expect it to vary so much, because I thought, oh, maybe it's going up to like 600 and then back down to 420 again when I open a window. But no, like, I had the doors and windows closed for an hour, and it went from 400 ppm to 1000 ppm. And it would have kept climbing. When I turned it on, it was at 1400. And that was when I had all the stuff shut for a couple of hours. And that's the point where you would start to actually expect some effects. So this room clearly has not been that well ventilated when the door is shut and the windows are closed. So I've opened the top window now because it's not raining, and it's down to about 800. Real life micromanaging environment for optimal aging and quality of life enhancement. Yes, exactly. If I'm going to spend a load of time in here streaming, I might as well actually know what the CO2 concentration is in the room. It's kind of just me being really nerdy anyways. I'm putting 2 Aquatuners on conductive wire. They're all going to be on separate wires. We're going to plug them into separate transformers and power sources. Only this one's going to run to start. We'll run the others once we've actually got everything working. I just want to build everything first. We need more steel, which means we need more lime, which means we need to actually dig up some fossil, which is... there is fossil around. It's this orange stuff. Where's the easiest fossil to grab? Not associated with any of that stuff. There is some fossil in here. I don't really want to grab that bit. I could grab this. Oh, I can't grab this bit. I could grab this bit. That's not a huge amount of lime. Maybe it's enough. We did actually get over here. Oh, you know what? Just dig this. Yeah, easy. Easiest as those fossil ribs? Yes, that's true. That does give you a nice big chunk. Don't actually... I don't know. We'll be fine. Speed up a little bit. I guess I'll put a storage bin over here as well so we can grab all of the crap in here. Food's gone back up again. That's good. I think the fish are getting too hot. I don't know, it looks like it's cooled down in here again. Oh, obviously it's going to heat up a little bit if we're running the metal refinery. Well, maybe we turn it off after we do this thing. Oh, are you running out of power? Wait, why are you running out of power? What? Oh, you're not tuned up. Oh, you are tuned up. Wait. You've got the thing, but you're not actually tuned up. That's funny. Yeah, we are running a lot of power through this, actually. I saw this extreme build looking for ways to make more oxygen. Someone actually made a ton of oxygen and just froze at the bottom of the map. Looked insane, but how would someone do that? You would need an Aquatuner full of supercoolant to get it down to the temperature, or a lot of thermoregulators running hydrogen gas, but that's going to use an absolute ton of power. You can do that if you have a load of polluted oxygen. If you actually cool down polluted oxygen below minus 186 degrees, it just freezes into liquid oxygen, and then you heat it up again and it just turns into regular oxygen. And it purifies it without requiring any filtration medium. So you can substitute power filtration medium. But you need the supercoolant, or you need the thermoregulators running the hydrogen, or you need like an anti-entropy thermonullifier. That could be a pretty good way to use these things. Like, this is surrounded by polluted oxygen. If we just shoved a load of hydrogen in here, this would probably, if we insulated it, it would probably eventually actually purify the oxygen for us. Right, sweep only, priority 9. Put all that stuff in here, and then we can close this room. We only actually need one more lot of steel. The metal is running through here. Right, fish is scalding on these tiles. This one specifically. Does chlorine purify polluted oxygen as well? It's a neat trick, but I never do it because you lose all of that clay dirt. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a case if you don't have the filtration medium. Yeah, chlorine should purify the germs out of anything that you put in a reservoir. The reservoir has to be surrounded by chlorine gas for it to work. I think we're actually, I think we're probably putting too much stuff on this wire. I think I need to split some of these surfboards out. Split this surfboard out. Right, maybe we split both of these out. Oh, the thermonullifier stops before the condensation point of oxygen? Really? When does it stop? Oh, freeze temperature minus 173.1. You can tell I don't use this very much, can't you? Interesting. Damn. Right, can you actually just grab all this stuff? Please? There's not a lot in here. Thank you. Who would I even actually print? It would have to be a kitchen menace, I think. Otherwise, I wouldn't even consider printing them at this point. Yeah, come grab that iron. We have the steel now, so let's build the last Aquatuner. And then this one can go here. That one can go like this. And then this one can just come down here, and then that one can come here. And the gate can go here as well. I don't know exactly what we're going to set these to. We know that this is going to come out here. Then it's going to run in here, and then it's going to come out here. I quite like this with alternating the bridges for alternating Aquatuners. It's very neat. We were kind of struggling with that on Sour Gas or Bust, but that's a pretty good way of doing it. So it's going to come down here, right? And this pipe is ultimately going to have to move somewhere, I think. It was useful when it was like only one or two ways to cool the base down. We got tons of patches, yeah. I could put another vent in here if I really felt like it. No, I can't because that's the pipe there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but it will cool sour gas. Oh yeah, really? No, not butane. What are you talking about? Yeah, it will do sour gas. Wow. I aspire to reach the point of enlightenment where whatever you're doing actually makes sense to me, other than just being gibberish, but looks cool and symmetrical. My OCD loves it. Yes, that's the aim. When you play enough of this game, you just eventually seem like some kind of wizard that actually knows what they're doing. Right. So once I built that Aquatuner, we can just shut that off, I think. Right, you are actually hooked up, so there's a lot of stuff plugged into this wire. I don't think it's going to all be running at once. I guess we'll see. But there's no gas in here now, so we can separate this out and build these tiles. I think I'm honestly fine with the carbon dioxide. The main thing is, whatever gas we have in here, I want it to actually be uniform. Because what we're going to do after this is we're going to cover this with liquid. Did I flip that Aquatuner? No. I wasn't supposed to. Right? This is all just hooked up in series. So now we can actually come up here, and then the fish are going to go in these tiles. This is the next part of the experiment. Now, if we look at the gas, carbon dioxide is not very conductive. Polluted oxygen is slightly more conductive. If we end up with a fixed layer of carbon dioxide down here, that would be perfect. If not, then it's not the end of the world. So now we want to dump the cold liquid on here. So I think the cold liquid will be brine. This is going to be the liquid that's actively cooled by the fish. Do we have access to brine? We don't, do we? I guess we could just cool down salt water. I guess what we could actually do is we could just put salt water in here and then put ice temperature plates. Or polluted ice temperature plates and then not melt them. You're gonna get PO2? Yeah, it usually ends up being PO2. It's fine. PO2 is actually fine. But If it's... Yeah, because also, if the liquid level ever drops below this level, which it probably will, then we'll get PO2. So we should probably just plan on it being PO2, right? Maybe that means I run a carbon skimmer up here very quickly, just to get rid of some of that. That's going to be awkward, isn't it? Well, I could very quickly do this. Oh god. And then you could go in here like this. Oh, you can't go in there like that. That's fine. This is entering spaghetti territory. Yeah, sure, whatever. Isn't carbon dioxide heavier than PO2? It is. But the PO2 is constantly off-gassing from this polluted water. And if the pressure ever gets disrupted, then you'll get a bubble of polluted oxygen, and then that will let more polluted oxygen out. And it's just going to be messy. Right, we can do all of that. So that should be fine. I don't really want this carbon skimmer to run too much. I just want to make sure we can actually have this be polluted oxygen in here before we pour the rest of the water in. How are you fish doing? Could be better. Well, you won't run this very much at the moment anyways, because we're out of lime now. That's fine. Yeah, build all these wire segments. Just dumping salt water onto the ice near the ATM will give you brine. Yeah, you could do that. I mean, salt water itself. So this will freeze. This will freeze at minus 10.5-ish, I think. Because it usually is a couple of degrees below the actual freezing point. What are my predictions or wish list for the next ONI DLC? Oh my god, I haven't even thought about that yet. What do I actually want them to do? Honestly, I just want them to actually keep expanding the current DLCs. I think they have widened out the deep pool of ONI enough with what they've done. And I think they need to expand what they've done a little bit. I think I want to see critter variants for the prehistoric critters. I would love to see the synthetic Asteroid for the Bionic duplicate pack, where there's no critters and there's loads of oil wells and like industrial geysers, and the challenge is to try and just actually get water produced, but oil is really abundant, stuff like that. I think that'll be very easy. That would be a very easy way to improve the Bionic booster pack DLC. But if I was being forced at gunpoint to say that Clay needs to make a new DLC, I want a really hot asteroid. Like, maybe make it one where you have a load of biomes at like sort of 60 degrees and sort of Oasis style, but you have more unique critters. I also just want them to make an Oasis map, Oasis moonlit map. That's what I want to see. Yeah, fill this with a bit more water. There's a few mods with hot asteroids, yeah, but I want to see like, so the starting area is hot, but you don't necessarily need a suit. And then the surrounding biomes are like 200, 300 degrees, or you get really, really hot stuff. You've got to try and figure out how to make it work. And sand sharks, yeah, maybe. And something that requires glass in large quantities. Yeah, that's a really good idea. No, ONI 2, it's going to be KSP2 Redux. No. ONI 2, fire is included. We will probably play Away Team when that comes out. I am interested in that game. I think I want to just do this, right? Do I want to have a lip? Is this just going to fill with CO2 forever otherwise? This is a fixed amount of CO2. This level will eventually come down. Do I just put a load of carbon skimmers here for now? Just to get the CO2 out of here? I think we do. At the end of the day, we want the more polluted water to go in here anyways, right? So, something like this. We'll remove these all later, I think. We probably don't even need to remove them later, if I'm being honest. You're doing beta now, gives you trees and pips. You've already won. Yeah. That's why I don't like pips. A plant potato that acts like a battery and a critter that lays eggs that can be turned into batteries. Ooh, that's a good idea. No, I want a critter that eats glass and turns into abyssalite. That's what I want to see. And then it makes you make an industrial sand boiler. Love it. Right, now if you build these wires, this CO2 level should drop a lot more quickly, right? The fish are all going to go in this top bit, by the way. Oh, this should be pretty satisfying, right? Yeah, that's clearing pretty quickly. There is a little bit of chlorine. Is that going to be an issue? I don't think the chlorine's going to be an issue. The chlorine should go away. Right. If we put salt water in here and it cools down enough, it will just form brine and ice. So I'm just going to put salt water in here. Enable auto bottle as well. I think we actually could just grab it from... where? Here? Let's put a pitcher pump in here just so we can just grab some. Where is it even going to go? Let's just stick it here and then put like a ladder down here. I think that will reach all the way into here, won't it? Maybe it won't. We need to lower that another level. No, it looks like it's getting cut off. It should be fine at that level. It looks like it's just getting cut off. Dig these up. There you go. You want your potato battery? Yeah. Clay already came up with those ideas at journal entries for it, which makes me think, yeah, and we want, for the hot planet, the hydrocactus should be brought back in its glory. Also, we need lithium and titanium. Those are two materials we need. Well, lithium in particular, I think. You gonna start erupting again? 8 cycles. Right, there's now chlorine in here. What do I want the chlorine to do? Do I just want the... If I just open this up, actually, I think the chlorine will make its way out. And then we'll, whoops. I guess, hold on. Gonna have to concentrate on this bit, unfortunately. I think the gases should get pushed out by the polluted oxygen. And then we seal it up. Okay, let's... Man, I don't know. Okay, let's just do this. Do that now. Get over that. Do these before the chlorine comes back. Oh, God. Maybe they'll manage it in time? No, not really. This is going to be a little bit fiddly, isn't it? Well, it's all good practice for the dupes. Thanks. Thanks, chlorine. I am just going to mess around with the dupes for a little bit on this, I think. Right, now let's do it. Because any carbon dioxide that gets in here, I think will still get skimmed. It's just the chlorine specifically that's annoying. Okay, I think we got it. Okay, we've done it. So now we actually have a polluted oxygen level layer. This layer is going to be an insulator. You can already see this water is very cold because it's being dumped in. Is it being dumped in from the geyser? No. But it's very cold from the temperature plates. This water is warm. The gas is not going to conduct heat very efficiently. That's why I haven't got any temperature plates in here. Right. Maybe we just leave the carbon dioxide things in here for now. So I think what I want now, so the fish are flopping out of here. This conveyor. So what's happening at the moment is we're picking up everything except for eggs in here. So the spare gulp fish eggs are getting dumped in here afterwards. Some of them are going to flop in here, but that's just how the nature of the beast is. I think what we want to do... What we could actually do is we could put the gulp fish eggs in another loader. Or we could put the gulp fish eggs in this loader too. So the only gulp fish we get in here are the ones that flop over from here, which is fine. So if we do that, then... the gulp fish eggs will eventually end up over here. So let's set this to include gulp fish eggs for now. This is set to regular pacu eggs. So yeah, all the regular gulp fish eggs should come out here. And then I think what I want to do is put a sweeper here, put a loader here. And then this one can be only gulp fish eggs. And then they could be dumped in here. There's probably a more efficient way of doing this, but I don't care. This is all an experiment. Oh wow, our calories have shot way up. Definitely stop making lice loaves. Is that because we're finally getting all the pacu omelets and whatnot? I think it is. Yeah, look. I think it's these gobfish finally dying. Good! That means we can actually remove some of these mealwoods at some point, right? George? George, we need to get suit training on you. Right, let's build this immediately, because we're going to end up with a load of goldfish eggs in here in the meantime. We already have 8. And the tropical pacu could just stay in here. That's fine. Okay, I think what's happening is... yeah, the metal refinery is heating this up slightly too much. Oh no, they're already hatching! It's because the dupes are on downtime. Well, that's fine. We'll actually need to set up a freezer, or is this just the point where we actually get more dupes? I think this is the point where we just actually start removing the mealwoods, right? Like, if we remove these ones... actually, you know what? Those ones can stay. And then I can actually disable access through here once that's done. Because I do not want the dupes spending all their time and dirt doing mealwoods. We've only got 70 tons of dirt left, so we do actually have to wean ourselves off a bit. Because we're not doing pips and that related dirt production today. Nope. I would like to dump more salt water in here. The fish actually do need to swim in here. You did build this. But we need you to build the ladder as well. Oh, right. This is one of those stupid cases where the building is... the plant is restricting access to all of this. Okay, so you are set to gulp fish eggs specifically. So now you are all going to get dumped in here. And these are the excess eggs only. The breeder eggs are still getting left in position. Yes, we do actually need to dump a little bit of salt water in here. This is the most important thing now, because I think some of these eggs are going to hatch any minute. Yeah, most of them. Okay. Yeah, please do actually do this. And I need you to remove these so we can actually pitcher pump the rest of this. It's very funny. Yes, you should actually now be able to reach a large amount of salt water. And then I think we actually have to put some robo miners in here because the setup that we have with the Gulp Fish in here doesn't work when you reload the game specifically. It forms water tiles, even though it shouldn't, or it forms ice tiles. So we need to put some robo miners in here, and we need to put them far enough away that they're not going to get actually dunked on. I think this will do. If we just do this, actually, that will probably do. And then, oh, here's the issue. I want to insulate all of this. Because obviously, we're trying to keep the Gulp Fish cool. That's the issue with this plan. And the issue as well is if we put the RoboMiner in the tiles where the water is, then if it freezes on top of the RoboMiner, we don't necessarily know. You know what? Okay. I've got a better idea. Hold on. Right, remove all of these. Remove all of these. Remove the pipe. This water pipe, I think, just plumb that. Oh, you just removed all the water already? No, no, it was polluted water. Whoops. I'm just going to tell you to sweep all of this. Deconstruct all this pipe, sweep all the water. It's fine. So, disconnect this. You just dump all the salt water back in here. We put like a regular... We could have... I don't know. Can you guys actually do this, please? Oh, you're on downtime. Okay. I forget. All the dupes always go on downtime at the same time everywhere. It's very annoying. Right. I'm going to ask you to put a pitcher pump here as well so we can grab more salt water. This is warm salt water. I probably do just need to put some ice temperature plates in here. Maybe just 2. For now, I'll set this to 4 degrees. I'll set this one to 18. Why not shifts? I don't know. We probably should do shifts. I kind of like just having them all go to bed at the same time. But you're right, shifts are usually better. Yeah, dump the rest of the salt water back in here. Just get the rest of the liquids. This doesn't actually seem like a very efficient plan now I think about it. Okay, cancel those. Right, I think that ice will melt pretty quickly. Maybe not. There's some ice. Oh, the ice is all tiling up here. Interesting. Well, you'll fry. Okay, we've got regular water in here now. Okay. I mean, inserting a load of hot salt water in here is not really the best plan. Like, my work swing and night shift station suffer too. You'll give them a 10% pay differential. Well, that's funny. Well, in any case, the fish should eventually cool this all down properly. We're going to have a continuous influx of fish after all. And then I think what we do is we just stick a load of robo-miners in here. To make them out of gold so they heat up as little as possible. I'm just going to do it like this. And then odds are at least one of them will not be completely frozen in when we load it. Right? And the other thing we could do is... So this coolant pipe is coming down here. I think we could actually run this up here. I guess we could put like a copper pipe in here. Cool this down first to make sure it's okay with the fish. But the fish should add a lot of cooling anyways, shouldn't they? I'm not sure I really want to do this. We'll put the pipe in and then we can turn it off if we can disconnect it if need be. I think that's a good way of doing it. I'm not used to making robo-miners. It's weird, but I'll show you what will happen once we get some adult fish in here. And again, they're going to be converting this all into ice. So we actually need to get the ice out. So we're going to need, like, auto sweeper. That's why I made it 9 wide as well, by the way. And then I guess just stick it here. Seems fine. Maybe just something like this. So each robo miner can access the entire room at once if needed. Maybe I just turn this one off. Then we just dump all the remaining salt water in here. We'll figure it out. We're gonna need a fair bit more salt water in here, but we probably should start cooling it first. At least this way they can actually get in here and access it. And if we seal it off like this, it should still be pretty insulated. In fact, I could even do it like this. Then that should be very insulated. Okay, so the polluted oxygen... Oh, we've got some CO2 in here now. We got let in. Oh, that's funny. It's not that funny. I don't think it actually matters. I don't think it actually matters. It's just annoying. If we open this up, it's all the CO2 is going to come back now. If I tile it, it's going to be a complete mess. Oh, I have an idea. Hold on. I build it here, and then I build the airflow tile here, and then I tile it over. That should work. Yeah, I'm glad calories are up, but this is a lot of extra calories. I think we can... You know what? I think we actually just get rid of all the mealwoods now. Or maybe not all the mealwoods, but like most of them. Like, get rid of these ones. Because this is way too much food. This is all going to be rotting. You could go back to pickled meal, actually, as well. Well, I'm glad the food industry is bouncing back. Wait! Where'd all the fish go? I mean, we've got 8 breeders up here. I think this needs to be set to 48. All the breeders died. Oh, it's just straight up too hot in here now. Right. Let's set you to 20 then. Well, let's actually just turn you off. I think they all aged out. They were all born around the same time. I mean, that water is too hot up here, but I don't think they all died from swimming up here. Maybe they did. What's going on here? Okay, that's not what we wanted, is it? No. I think that's what's happened. We let a load of heat leak in from the outside of the map. Okay. I guess I'll set this back to 20 then. Rip. But these fish will hatch very quickly and they're all tame, so no real harm done. How many eggs we've got in here? We've still got quite a few gulp fry in here. I do need the dupes to just keep dumping salt water in here, though. I'm probably going to just need that to be a yellow alert, now I think about it. And you know what? You can actually ladder down here as well. So what I really want is I want this ice. I want the water to freeze. So maybe to start, so this is where the polluted water is coming in. This, let's see. If we do this, then we can get the polluted water to run down here, then we can fill the loop up and start actively cooling it. Seems fine. And then I think for now, actually, you know what? Let's set this to 18. Let's set this to 32. And let's set this to 4. No. Let's set this to 4. Set this to -10. No, if it gets to -24, it's too cold. So let's set this to like -8. Set this to 6. Then let's set this to 20. Something in the middle of my base in the portal just kept randomly spilling water all over a particular cycle. It didn't happen after the cycle, but I couldn't stop it, figure it out, no matter how many times I tried to do it. I don't really know exactly what you're talking about, if I'm going to be honest. I've had issues with liquefiables freezing and melting repeatedly because of how the conductivity works in the game. It does happen sometimes. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We have at least some polluted water here. So I think I'm just going to set this to 0, and then we're going to pump it in here. So that means for now, if I just do that like that for now, then we can load this loop up. Just pump all the polluted water for now. There won't be very much. Then that can run through here, and then we can start filling it up. There will be a point where it's too much for the loop. We haven't quite reached that yet. This should at least freeze the regular water in here, so we just end up with brine. Yes, these aren't quite full packets. They're pretty close. In fact, I think we're almost there now. I don't normally fill it up like this. I think that may be enough. Let's let that settle out and see what happens. So the rest of it can dump in here. Let's set this to 50 again. Man, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know which of these packets are full anymore. Oh, there's a packet that isn't full. Okay. So only this one's running. That is what we want. That's fine. So this should start cooling down all the water. It's gonna take a little while, especially because we're dumping hot salt water in here, but the fish shouldn't scold, I don't think. We're gonna need to do that for a fair bit, though. Oh, there's a shriveled taste buds dupe. I don't want any more dupes, though, do I? Not at this point, but we're gonna wrap the run up soon. There's a lot of water to cool in here. Oh, I'm annoyed now. I think we've overfilled this very slightly. How do we actually fix that? Do we just dump a little bit in here? Does that fix it? Very quickly. Okay, I think that actually did fix it. Okay, yeah, we've got one free packet. That's fine. Normally, I'm a bit more sensible when it comes to bridging it around like this, but that will do. I'd rather have one gap than just, like, overfill it and have the Aquatuner not run properly. Right, so this water is cold. We just dumped a load of actually cooled water on it. And now we're trying to cool this. So currently the temperature gradient is not where we want it to be. It's exactly the opposite. Did that happen because it wasn't primed? No, it happened because usually you want to lead it on with a bridge so that it only fills up the pipe if there's not a full packet. But we just 50-50 the pipe, so it overfilled. I could lead an extra packet on if I wanted manually. But I don't think I'll bother. Yeah, that water's nice and cool coming out of here, so it's going in. If it's above 6 degrees, it gets actively cooled. I think for now, because this one isn't actually running, I think we actually set that to -8. This one obviously isn't running either. We're just running the middle one at the moment. But we want to actually freeze this water. So we'll get this as cold as we can. How cold can we make the water? We use 3 tuners. Well, each of these tuners will cool down the polluted water in the coolant loop by 14 degrees C. So if we wanted to max cool with all 3 of them with different power sources, they could cool 10 kilograms per second of water by 42 degrees C. Now, each fish is purifying 200 grams per second. So we probably don't actually need that many Aquatuners in here unless we have a lot of fish in here. But bear in mind, each fish is actually cooling the water by up to 130 degrees C, if this is -10 and this is 120, like we're trying to get it to. It'll take a while before we actually get to that point. But if that is the case, then we probably, I don't know, probably somewhere in the region of like 50 to 80 fish, which is actually perfectly reasonable for the breeder population. Oh, yeah, you're all scalding really bad now. It's not good. Yeah, you're all scalding really bad. It is just this area over here, it's too hot. So I think I just need to turn the metal refinery off. Oh, right. It's because these are running and they're dumping all the hot polluted water in here. Yeah, this is too much heat for that, it turns out. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to explore in this run, but obviously it needs a little bit of fine-tuning. I think if we're running these, we can't actually run the stuff. So the building is at 50 degrees, so the polluted water is coming out 67.5 degrees C at 40 degrees C. It's quite a large gradient over here now. I could build a couple more water temperature plates, but this is not a permanent solution. Yeah, we definitely can't run both of these at the same time. Yeah, because you can see his health decreases whenever he's in this region. We could... Now... Okay, what we could actually do is I could just separate the fish out here so the fish never actually enter this region. That is technically allowed. But it's kind of sad to think about. But we will do it because I don't want the fish dying. So let's actually just do this. And I guess this fish feeder won't run. But I guess we'll do that for now, just to make sure the fish are safe. Because they're really not safe at the moment. I guess we have trapped some of the fish. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Can't we run in some of the piping that has cold water and cool it down? We can. The point is, because the fish will spawn in cold, there should be enough active cooling to deal with it without running into cold water. And also, this polluted water from the geyser is supposed to be dumping in here as well. But it hasn't been because the geyser is dormant. So that's kind of why this hasn't been working either. Okay, this is heating up now. This is cooling down. Let's get that little gas pocket out of here. But again, this is all experiments, so I'm hoping it's going to work. We've never done this before, putting the friggin' natural gas generators in here. This may have been a bit foolish, but I wanted the polluted water to go in here. I think if we don't actually run the metal refinery, we should be fine. Ultimately, the metal refinery can run in here. Maybe. Looks like the amount of salt water in here is increasing. That's good. So you're all going to be set to ice. And then, I don't know where... Where exactly do I want the ice to go? Am I just going to dump the ice in here? I could just dump the ice in here. Does that make sense? Maybe we just stick it here. And then that just comes down here, and then that bridges, and then that goes here. I feel like the ice is probably going to melt on the conveyor before it gets to this point. We'll see. Again, this is all experiments, so we'll see what's going on. I think at the moment this doesn't quite work because I don't actually have auto super coverage on this floor tile. But yeah, the fish are obviously not doing very well over here. I could just cover this up with a mesh tile temporarily. The important thing is, the space for the fish is determined by the amount of water in the tank. These mesh tiles aren't actually cramping the fish. I think we'll just do it like this. Oh wait, we need that tile to be free so that the water sweep can actually reach. That should be fine. Right. Okay, so here's the interesting thing. So now we actually have the adult gulp fish in here. You can see it's actually consuming the polluted water from this lower level. You can see the mass of this area is actually decreasing, and the mass of regular water up here is increasing. It will be coming out as ice to begin with, but the ice is obviously... So, with the fish, the water builds up in the fish to start with, and then it gets released periodically. And then, because it's water, it conducts temperature with the liquid it's in very quickly, and it thus immediately melts. So we're now going to start seeing a lot of this polluted water getting converted into water. And this is the part where we're going to start to see the temperature differential at play. And this is why we want more salt water in here as well, because we want a liquid layer that isn't going to freeze with the fish. So I think we just need to speed up and see how it goes. But we have enough fish in here, this will start off. Yeah, it is pretty cool. I'm glad it's working. I mean, this is the first step. There's probably a bit of extra work we need to do, but it's starting to work. Yeah, hay fever. Pretty bad. Can you actually not reach this?
Thanks
No,
for
you
the
can
follow.
reach this. Thank you very much for following Funk547. Enjoy your fishy and froggy emotes. Whiskers is currently hiding. Man, I'm going to come back from Australia. This tank is going to be a mess. That's what I need to do on Friday. I need to give it a proper clean out. Right, so I think we've got a lot of water in here. This will eventually freeze, and then we'll be left with just the salt water, and I think then we'll be in a good position. So let's speed it up. Oh, we can't get in here. Well, that's not going to work, then, is it? I mean, I could just... If it's just ice, I could just shove it here. And then the polluted water is going to pour over it, right? That should work well, right? So... I think I could just dump it here. Oh. Oh, I could only dump on those bits. Well, I can dump it here. That should work. Yeah. You have a spare tank, or do you just do the water change while they're in the tank? I just do the water change while they're in the tank. It's a big tank. It's like 230 liters. I change out like a quarter at a time. So, they don't mind it too much. I think Whiskers enjoys it. I want to get rid of this lump of carbon dioxide. Let's just try and sneak it quickly. Let's wait for it to go in the tile. You'd be surprised how often this works. You just gotta push your luck. Yeah, now if we do it, it should work. It is just luck, but sometimes you luck out. Okay, that was some of it. Obviously, it's deleting some of the gas, but it's refilling with polluted oxygen pretty quickly. So it should be fine. You really want to make a cool aquarium someday, but I have a bad past experience where I lost all fishes in one because I had to travel and the feeder gave too much food. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to Australia for 3 weeks, but the frogs need live food or frozen food. So we... someone is going to be coming into the house twice a week anyways. Otherwise, I wouldn't leave them with just a feeder, I don't think. We've got a little bit of time to wait, so I am just going to try and cheese this while we can. Yeah, there we go. We did it. Alright, how's this looking? Okay, polluted water is heating up. Polluted water levels are decreasing, so we need this geyser to reactivate, really. But it will reactivate in 0.5 cycles, that's good. I wish there was an easier way to fix these first world problems in this game. It's fine. It looks like we're getting there. Obviously, the issue with this as well is the polluted water here isn't getting filtered by the Gulp Fish. So, I guess we're going to be waiting until this gets to about minus 3.6 degrees, and then this should form the ice. But I just want to make sure that we've got enough salt water in here. It's really, really trying to push its way out. There's just this one stubborn tile of water. If we keep adding the salt water, what's actually happening? I feel like it's compressing into these tiles. Is it getting deleted? I hope it isn't getting deleted. It looks like it kind of is getting deleted. Is there a bottle of water there? There is. I can empty that. So it's 92 kilograms. It's trying. It's trying to escape. I think it is actually just pressurizing this area. So it's going to overpressurize the tiles if we're not careful. Yeah, none of the salt water is getting removed. I am happy for you to just empty this water in here. This will cool down soon enough. Let's not print anyone. Yeah, you shouldn't be scolding at all anymore now. We should still be able to reach all the fish. I think this will be fine. And again, the more adults we get in here, the better it will be. But we need this to activate fairly soon. 0.3 cycles. Okay, that's good. So... I think I'm just going to set this to 0. I think we just want all the polluted water we can getting into this room. And I know it's not very power efficient at the moment, but that will change. I just want to make sure, because we've got quite a lot of fish in here actually filtering stuff out now. The gulp fish actually moving around is what's causing the saltwater layer to get displaced as well. Because when they release the water, it's going up here. And that's causing some issues. I think it's the bottle emptier as well, mostly. This water over here is a lot cooler, because this is where we're dumping all the hot water in. And unfortunately, we did this at a time where there actually isn't a lot of babies, because we did kind of accidentally murder a load of these. So that's going to make it take a little bit longer to get down to temperature as well. But that's why the Aquatuner is still running. Eventually, it should get to the point where we don't actually have to run the Aquatuner, but we do at the moment because we're literally dumping the hot salt water in here. But now you can see what's going on. You can actually see it in the menu for the fish. So the water is going in at 17 degrees-ish from the bottom, and it's coming out at minus 6 degrees-ish. So that's deleting 0.2 times 4.2 times 24 per fish at the moment. So that's about 24 kDTUs per second per fish of heat deletion. And obviously we could obviously put a critter sensor in here as well, so you can see what's going on with that. Well, with how many critters are in here. I mean, at the moment we have... Oh, well, it's not a room. Fish is still crowded anyways. Let's actually put a door here. We don't need to yellow alert all of this. I think this will eventually cool down if we actually don't do anything with this. The issue is the temperature flux, because the cooling is going on over here with the cold fish getting dumped in here. And then the heating is going on over here. So, if anything, I need to actually have the polluted water come this way and dump on this half. But we don't need to optimize this for now. We just need the fish to actually cooperate. But the important thing is they are breeding. So they should let the eggs through just fine. Right, this is actually filling up with polluted water again now because the vent is running. That's good. We could also geotune this, by the way, to get even more polluted water out of it. I'm actually very tempted. Normally we don't bother. I am very tempted this time just because the amount of polluted water we have is going to be the constraint on this whole situation. So we have 9 fish in here. That's going to be 1.8 kilograms per second of water filtration. The geyser is only ever going to rep 1.75 kilograms per second. And we're going to add many more fish in here soon. So let's geotune this. Are you preserving the omelets in deep freeze or grinder? Is there a reason to do both? At the moment, the dupes are eating so many calories, they're just eating everything. And we're planning on getting rid of all the mealwoods. And I think we actually are pretty close to the point where we could do that. So we'll keep getting rid of them as we go. We could plant them again if needed. Okay, so the water is starting to get to the point where it's about to freeze. The issue is this is a tile. So this may need to get robo-mined. This is only because of the circumstances of actually getting this set up. But let's see what happens with this ice tile. I guess it takes another 0.6 degrees of cooling to sort out. What's the cheapest and easiest and best food to make? Barbecue and cook and pacu fillet are both very easy to make. We're pretty much running this base off of pacu fillet and mealwood and omelets. That's what we're trying to do. Good quality food, easy to prepare, and gives you radiation resistance for the pacu fillet. Barbecue is very easy from, like, say, hatches as well. People are running out of things to do. Let's give a research quickly. Let's go for the hot tub. We were talking about hot tubs earlier. But we have a food tier list as well. I need to update that because they've added a lot of foods since I looked at that video. Right, this will form a tile soon and this will get robo-mined, but that's only because it's so massive because of when we were setting up the tank. Yeah. So normally it won't form a tile because digging it out with the robo-miner deletes half the mass. It's not good. You don't really want it. So now the salt water is flowing out of here. The fish have all ended up kind of trapped because there's some gas in here, so I need to let the gas out. So we need to put an airflow tile here. But yeah, I put Surf and Turf pretty highly on that list. It's gotten nerfed a little bit since I made the list, but it's still pretty good, because all you need are sea critters, land critters, and a gas range, and then you've got access to a very good food. It used to, I think it used to be +5, but they nerfed it to +4, I think. But it's still very good considering how uncomplicated it is. But yeah, they're all flopping over here because the gas is in this region. And in fact, I probably need to actually let this gas out as well. We probably don't. I don't think the liquid's ever going to get up to that level. We just need to freeze the rest of this water. Looks like half these packets are cooled and half of them aren't. I think this is fine. No, why so many miners? Oh, I'll show you in a minute. It's a very specific edge case. You don't normally need any robo-miners in here. But I do need the dupes to actually do this task, but they'll do it in a minute. But we've got to reload the game to show you what's going on. But to do that means we actually have to get all the water out of here first. So we do have to just wait around a little bit, unfortunately. But in the meantime, we can just heat all this water up. Right, that's done. So now the fish can move freely out of this tile. And then... Okay, so now it's coming out as ice. Oh, I realized a slight problem with this plan. The auto sweeper can only reach this tile. Okay, hold on. Right, so this conveyor rail needs to go down here. That needs to get cut off there. This needs to go here, and we need to flip this around. But we should end up with just salt water in here in a minute. It's all starting to precipitate out. Yeah, good. Okay, and now... Internal temp updates on load bugs. Yes, exactly. So, if we set this to ice, we can now grab all the ice and put it in this conveyor, but we need to actually hook this up here. This salt water should cool down a lot now. But what you'll notice is, when the fish actually excrete the water, because the salt water is now cold enough to freeze the water immediately, when they do excrete it, it will form a little tile and it'll immediately condense into ice debris. So what that means is you're going to have the liquids moving around. Congratulations, it works. Can we conclude the experiment successful? Well, at the moment, we're running the coolant pipe through here. So at the moment, we're kind of forcing it to work. This is going to get moved elsewhere eventually, but we do need the pacu to be breeding again, which they are doing. They are breeding again properly now, so we can get more eggs in this thing. Because this is going to be way more full of fish than it is now. More Geotuners, because we're going to Geotune the Polluted Water Vent as well. I never normally Geotune Cool Slush Geysers, but we are going to do it in this case just for proof of concept. Because we're not interested in being sustainable in this colony, we're just interested in doing cool stuff. So I think let's just plug everything in here, and then I'm just going to plug this in here as well. Never Geotune, what does it do? So you put in a certain material, and the material you put in will depend on what geyser you're geotuning. For hydrogen and natural gas, it's abyssalite, so very easy. For water sources, it's usually bleach stone, which is not so easy. So they're going to have to grab bleach stone and shove it in these, but we can put the bleach stone somewhere. But look, we're conveying the ice out. So that ice is coming in here, that's now dumping in here, and that's all going to melt at some point, right? So I'm hoping that's going to get this room cold enough. So part of the cooling is coming from us actually delivering the ice out of the room, and part of it is just coming from us being able to run the Thermo Aquatuner. No, never became famous by becoming sustainable. Oh, I don't know. Someone will get there. But yeah, so what this means is we're taking the polluted water. So again, if we look at the fish, we're taking 21 degrees polluted water at the moment, and we're turning it into ice at ice temperatures. And the fish are deleting some heat. And as we get more fish in here, they will delete more heat. What we got blueprints-wise? More balloons. We've had really good luck recently. Great. But we need a bit more salt water in here as well. So let's actually keep getting them to dump salt water in here. Are you actually out of salt water? You are, because you never built this. Because there's a friggin' plant in the way? Or is it just because you can't reach it? Do you have to dig this tile to get there? I've earned a skill point. It's gonna make a fish-based series of 1,000 cycles. I wish, that'd be funny. We could definitely... If we manage to get this working properly, we can definitely take this way further in another run. Also, this actually forms a liquid lock here with the salt, so that's actually pretty good at keeping the heat out as well. Yeah, I mean... It's getting there. And I'm hoping that we're not going to ruin everything by dumping a load of extra salt water in here. I want the salt water to be in both levels. That's what I want. Because the issue is, if the level drops too much, then the gas just is going to get in the way as well. Salt water shouldn't freeze. Wait, actually, I need to make sure it doesn't freeze. Oh, we're dumping more salt water from the environment in here. That's the plan. Well, we're trying anyways. There's a lot of salt water in here. We tile that as well, that'll do. And I can actually get you to dig this out. And then we've got even more salt water. Sadly, we can't actually put in a temperature plate for that. But the more hot salt water we dump in here, the faster we should be able to fill it up as well. The faster we can increase the amount of heat in here as well. We're not going to run out of salt water. The fish aren't consuming the salt water. The salt water is just the medium within which the fish exist that stays stable and keeps the gas at the bottom from actually seeping out. Because the only reason this works is because we have a gas between these two liquids. So the fish could suck up the polluted water through the airflow tile. But the airflow tile needs to separate the liquids.
Thanks for the raid.
Hello, John Megacycle. Hello, Nedved Twitch. Hope you're doing well. Let me give you a shout out. I almost typed raid. That was not what I wanted to do. We are actually sort of getting to the point where our Paku-related experiment is done. So it's going well. We are actively cooling with fish. So let me explain what we're doing here. We have a pool of hot polluted water with a Thermo Aquatuner running in it, generating the heat. This is running a cooling loop that's cooling the fish down at the moment as well. But the other thing is, these Gulp Fish are eating the polluted water from this top layer. Let me select the adult fish, because they're the ones that are actually eating it. They're eating the hot polluted water from this layer, and then they're pooping out cold water, and because it's so cold, it's immediately turning into ice, and we're just conveying it out. So not only is the Thermo Aquatuner working to shift the heat around in this setup, but the fish are actively deleting the heat. The fish are cheating thermodynamics. We taught the fish how to break the laws of physics. And the hotter this room gets and the colder this room gets, the more heat we delete, and the more fish we add, the more heat we delete. So I haven't seen too many people doing this, but I think it's very powerful. And if you add enough fish into the setup, it actually becomes a more space-efficient way of deleting heat than steam turbines. Obviously, steam turbines are generating power, and they're great because they're steam turbines. But the fact that we can actually even compete with steam turbines with just the power of fish is kind of stupid. So that ice is going in here, and we're using this to cool down this other room where we've got our breeder population. So these excess fish are over here at the moment, but ideally what we're aiming to do is to get all the excess fish over here. We accidentally murdered all of our fish in here by dumping the natural gas generator water on them. So that wasn't perfect. But we're working on that. This is cooling down a little bit as well. Can't break what's already broken with this ONI physics. Yeah. We're just trying to dump more salt water in here at the moment so that this this room actually is full of liquid instead of just gas. So we've probably got another couple of cycles worth of this. If this room gets down to -10, then it's going to separate out into the brine. I think we do ultimately want it to separate out into the brine. We want this room to get as cold as we can actually possibly get it. The fish come out at -12.5 degrees C when they spawn, and their temperature actually resets again when they turn into adults. They immediately cool down to -12.5 degrees C. So adding loads of fish is going to delete heat as well. If we get this colder than -12.5 degrees C, then the fish is going to start adding a bit of heat, so it's probably a bit less efficient overall. But maybe it is still worth cooling it down that much to get a little bit of extra heat deletion out of it. But in any case, yes, we're just completely breaking physics. We're also on max difficulty, by the way. We're doing all of this on max difficulty because I wanted to try the difficulty settings for a change, and it's gone pretty well. We're actually weaning ourselves off of mealwoods now. We almost used up most of our dirt, but I think we're actually at the point where we don't need these anymore because we're producing enough fish that everyone's just eating the fish now. What a relief. I think we're getting a fair amount of omelets out of here as well. Because these fish are hot, they're breeders, their Gulp Fish chances are around 2/3. So 1/3 of the eggs come out as pacus, and they get converted into omelets in here. So the pacu eggs get stored in this room with the liquid tepidizer. They crack after 10 cycles because they're being held in a non-ideal container, growth suppressed. And then when they crack, they turn into raw egg, and then if we catch it very quickly... That was good timing. When the raw egg heats up, when it gets past 71 degrees, its state changes into an omelet. And then it gets put in the conveyor loader. So we don't even need to grill the omelets. The physics does it automatically. So that's where a lot of our calories are coming from at the moment. And we'll know that we've got a big surplus when we've got omelets stored up. Yeah. So you don't even need to grill the eggs. And that's really worth doing because each pacu gives you 1 kilogram of pacu fillet. You can cook that into 1.6 kilocalories of cooked seafood. But if you just crack the egg, you get 2,800 calories of raw egg, and you can turn that into 5,600 calories of omelets. So that's very strong. You get way more food out of the omelets than you do out of the fish fillets, but obviously the food isn't as high quality. Wait, did I get that maths right? No. You get 3,200 calories of raw egg out, and then you get 5,600 calories of omelet. Yes. I hope I make a video of this with the layout service so we can make him copy it. I've already thought of that. We already have videos on it. The only thing I didn't do... So we talked about the concept of this in the video on the YouTube channel, but we didn't quite actually get it working completely properly. I showed off the concept, but there's still a bit of work to do, which is why we're doing it in this stream. But most of what I've talked about is all on YouTube already. So go check out the YouTube videos. And yeah, the salt water is getting to the point where it's starting to layer in. I'm just going to yellow alert this. I just want you to fill this up with salt water. I just want to stop seeing the liquid all splashing around in here. Whose emote is that? You found a new channel to geek out on? Yeah, there's loads of videos in there. Right, please dump all of this in here. What happens to the omelette if you raise temperature further? Well, omelette is made out of genetic ooze, so nothing. You can heat the omelette up to 9,000 degrees and it won't do anything. Yeah, it's weird that raw egg is the only food in the game that state changes. You need to scoot and get some food, but I'll be lurking supporting. No worries, thanks for stopping by. This gas situation is going to be very annoying, isn't it? Yeah, just keep dumping this in. I think we're literally just going to wait for this to fill up with salt water now. And I know we're only doing it with 1 bottle empty at a time, but that's fine. I also just want the fish to start breeding in here properly again, so we can start adding more eggs to this setup. So let's actually set these to the Cool Slush Geyser as well. We are going to end up adding some chlorine because we're moving bleach stone into the room. But that is acceptable. So you're geotuned now. Well, you will be geotuned once I do the errands. And then we can have probably up to 18 fish in here. And they can filter all of this polluted water out sustainably. If we have too many fish in here, the polluted water level will just drop to nothing. That's the issue with this whole setup. So perhaps what we could do is we could actually have a critter sensor in here that activates this chute. I think we can do that. We could do that quickly. In fact, if I just do this... remove this as well. Looks like it's heated up a bit too much in here again. Because we're still adding the salt water, that's fine. You have so much polluted water around though, you just need to gather it all. Yes, but when I say these fish are going to be quick, if we have like 50 or 100 fish in here, they're going to drink this water fast. But you're absolutely right. That probably is what we'll do, is we'll just keep digging up more polluted water and dumping it in here. We'll probably do that next stream. I don't think we need to do it yet. If we notice the liquid level drops below this vent, that's when we start doing it. But it's not going to happen with the amount of fish we've got in here yet. So let's do this, and then I think I'm just going to get rid of these ones. Perhaps we actually just have a layer of gas at the top. I think that's probably fine. Also, I realized if we're conveying ice through here, some of it's just melting up here at the moment because we're dumping all the salt water in. That's fine. Right. Let's put a critter sensor in here. And then if the critter count exceeds a certain value, then we shut off the chute. And then instead of that, okay, the issue is at the moment we're picking up the Gulp Fish eggs from here and moving them out here. So if we dump them back here, it's not going to work. I could dump them in here. That could work. Yeah, so long as you can't reach that spot, that will work. Okay, that's good. It's a little bit silly, but, I mean, we can cope with silly. So long as it doesn't re-enter the fish tank downstairs, it should be fine. Yeah. And then we just need to put an actual ice temperature plate in here, so there's some liquid for the remaining Gulp Fish to go in. So that way we're still getting all the active cooling out of the fish. Now you'll notice in here, the polluted water levels have actually dropped really low, because we're not actually dumping the polluted water in this room anymore. That's actually fine. We don't really need to filter the water in this room. Filtering the water in this room is going to be a lot more productive for us. Okay. I think we're actually at the point where we want to be. We need to make sure that the salt water doesn't get displaced from these tiles at any point. Because if it is, then the fish are going to get stuck. So we need a little bit more salt water. We need up to 400 kilograms per tile in here, I think, so the fish don't get stuck. No, maybe they're not actually stuck. Fish we got in here? 9, okay. So send green signal if below 18. I think, if we're geotuning this. We actually don't have enough bleach stone to geotune this even slightly. We're going to have to go and dig a loadout. There is a loadout. It's the blue stuff. There are a couple of specific zones where you can find a large amount of it. But you just got to find them. Oh, what does the formation look like? There's a formation where you get like 500 kilograms per tile. Here it is. You get a couple of big lumps. But they're very specifically shaped. And I don't know exactly where they appear. Ah, here's one. Okay. So we dig out all of this. And then I think we would have to get in here as well. That's going to be irritating. So you could get down here like this. And then I would need to dig like this. And then you can grab most of that. And then you can just ladder this one at the end. That should work. But then you actually need to get in here. Okay, what's melted? Oh, yeah, that was supposed to melt. That's good. Oh, the polluted water wasn't supposed to go here. Yeah, sweep that out. I think, yeah. This will keep decreasing in temperature. This is still heating up. Again, remember, we're dumping cold polluted water in this room. Once this actually gets fully geotuned, this will be hot polluted water. So the heat differential will be even greater than what I've been talking about. So, oh, we can't actually get in here. Hold on. How do we even get in here now? Oh, God. Did I never actually get in here? It's probably 9 all these digs. Yeah, I can't either. Like, we're nowhere near max throttle on this. This is gonna get insane very quickly. Did we actually grab all that bleach stone over there? I think we did. How much bleach stone can we store per geotuner? Obviously, we're getting a bit of chlorine out here. That's not what we want, but that's what we got. Oh, you know what we should do? We should store all the bleach stone in here, shouldn't we? Make sure it doesn't off-gas. How do I zoom out so far? Alt-S gets you into screenshot mode, and then you can zoom out as far as you want. And then press Alt-S again. And then you can go back. It's the one hotkey I bothered to learn. There are more. Yeah, let's get this up to 400 kilograms per tile, and then I think this will work out. How's the fish count in here now? So we got 5. We got 5, we got 6 eggs. That's good. Still got 31 fish in the tank. Yeah. I have a list of mods as well. Here's the mods. Oh, I haven't activated Traffic Overlay in a while, but Fast Track is a performance mod that helps with that. We actually have Tinted Aquatuner liquid as well. I'm not sure you can tell, but it colors the liquid depending on what you're actually running through the Aquatuner. We have True Tiles, which is why all the tiles look different. Each material has a different texture with the True Tiles mod, so it's very handy for immediately telling at a glance what everything's made out of. Which is a big relief. I don't suspect these really matter at these points. Yeah, there's Steam Workshop mods for everything, and the best part is they don't actually invalidate achievements. We only have mods that don't really affect the gameplay that much. They're only sort of UI mods and that sort of thing. But you can totally mod the game and get achievements if you feel so inclined. Right, these levels are starting to increase. I feel bad because we just had like a couple of guys on constant yellow alert doing this, but we should be pretty close to being done. This saltwater is just building up in this tile now. That's not really what we wanted. But yeah, I really appreciate how Clay has handled mods in this game. It's very conscientious of them. I don't know. You can research the artifact station. The dupes are getting a bit bored. We've kind of not given them anything else to do now. Mods defeat the purpose of this game where your aim is to tame everything that randomly happens. With quality of life mods like yours, good to see. Yeah. Also, there's mods that make the game harder. There's mods that add more critters. There's mods that have like harder asteroids. You can do whatever you want. Devs don't care. Right, I think we're nearly done with this. I just want to get it cooled down to the point where it's actually, you know, cold again. We could build some temperature plates in here as well. I don't think that's going to matter too much. The coolant pipe is doing most of the work. I really like how this is snaked together so neatly. Because I was really struggling with that before. Because you'd have the exit here, but then the bridge would go here. Oh, looks like we've got a little bit of water on this tile. Okay. It's interesting how it builds up in here and then just pushes over. Honestly, since this is not a multiplayer game and there's no leaderboards for being a sandbox game, I think the devs are amazing for letting the achievements still work. Yeah. I mean, if you turn sandbox mode on and you're just blatantly game editing, then it will disable achievements. But anything short of that, I don't mind. Right, I think that's good enough. Let's stop adding salt water now. Let's actually get this all cooled back down to the right temperature. So that's going to take a little minute. This is quite hot now. Obviously, it'd be faster if I was running both of these. Do I actually want to run both of these? Would that be responsible? Probably not, but we're going to do it anyways, because I want to. The only issue is the water is already cold enough. I don't think that more than one of these actually would run at a time. Well, so the thing is, most of the power from the setup is coming from the fish, not from the actual pipe. The pipe is what's going to cool the rest of our base once the fish are operational. And they're kind of operational at the moment, but this water still needs to heat up, and i.e. through the Thermo Aquatuners, and we need to increase the numbers of fish. Then it will get working properly. But if we keep... Yeah, so if we speed it up, the extra fish eggs are accumulating over here. They will fill up this bit. I could actually just dump a couple more in here for now. You know what? Let's do it. If we actually just relocate some of these fish, we can do this faster. Oh, you can't grab them because they're behind the door. Oh, I don't actually want you dumping any more salt water in here, sorry. Maybe we can just temporarily open it, and then we can relocate some fish. There's no real reason just to wait on these guys. Like if I... So, let's see. Yellow alert these. Relocate these guys. Are we relocating every single fish? I don't think I want to relocate every single fish. How many are in here now? 10? Okay, let's relocate another 2. Yeah, do that. And then we should end up with loads of extra eggs. Then this door could close again on its own. So now we should have more breeders. They should start breeding faster. They do need to actually eat from the thing and go in the critter fort as well. They are all slowly making their way over there. It should increase the amount of eggs. And then once this is up to 12 eggs... Wait. Yeah, that's fine. This should be open. Okay. Looks like one of the fish aged out. That's fine. Okay, we'll leave that alone. That's fine. Dupes are now really idle. They're really bored. Oh, yeah. That's a thing. The dupes aren't constantly tending mealwoods anymore. So we don't actually have that much for the dupes to do. They've transcended past the phase of manual labor, I guess. Well... Oh, that was something I was going to do, wasn't it? I was going to geotune this saltwater vent. That was going to give us more bleach stone. Is that worth doing? I don't know. Okay, I think we're at the point where we drywall the base now. Because we're kind of waiting for fish. Last time we did a load of mush. We did a load of ick stripes. What one are we going to pick this time? There's no fish wallpaper apart from the Jorbo one. You know what? Let's do aquatic. Let's do aquatic pattern everywhere. That sounds fun. Yeah, we got some time. Can we make a flag? No, I'm not gonna make a flag. Do a giant pixel art fish. Lol. Maybe later. It sounds like it's time to open the Thunderdome and have them fight to the death. Yeah, maybe. Do well, Omnirus. Someone's trapped. Where? Digglebopper. Oh, yeah, that's true. If you dig this... Oh, wait, that's not going to work, is it? If you dig this, you should be fine. Yes, all that bleachstone is going to off-gas unless you actually deliver it up here. So, put that in here. You can put oxalite in there as well if you have any. Pixo art of a jawbone would be awesome. Yeah, maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it next stream. I still want to actually pay attention to what the fish are doing, but we can queue this up in the meantime. We'll do the pixel art somewhere that's not a room. Good on coal power. We never really needed to go massively heavy on coal power. That's nice. Oh, let's put some more beds over here as well. We could probably actually just put more beds in general. I mean, we'll keep an eye on the food thing. Yeah, I can see they did the Jawbo wallpaper. That's a good one. Yeah, maybe don't wallpaper this room. Oh, you know what? You can wallpaper this room. Fuck it. I don't think you can reach everything, though. Just do the tiles you can reach. That sounds fine. We could actually granite all of the floor tiles as well. They don't have to be sandstone. That feels like a bit of a waste of time, though. Those statues are so bad. We never quite got Masterworks, did we? Okay. Right, the Gulp Fish are all floating around with the 2 layers now. Oh, wait. We don't want the Gulp Fish floating around with 2 layers. Because if they're up here, they're not actually grabbing the polluted water, are they? So, that's actually too much salt. Right, I forgot. Well, let's just cool this all down first, and then we'll figure it out. Paku farm! Yes, we're doing a lot of Paku. The Paku are Pakuing. So, we have the breeding tank over here. It was getting a little bit scolded. We did some YouTube videos on it. But what we're actually doing over here, we're setting up a fish cooling system. The Gulp Fish should be eating the polluted water from down here. The hot polluted water, and then turning it into cold ice. And as this tank heats up, they'll delete more and more heat. So they're pretty much letting us run this coolant pipe for free. So we're going to do that, cool all the salt water. Actually, now I think about it, we're going to end up with a load of brine in here, aren't we? That's what we want. Hello, Redneck. Hope you're doing well. Let me give you a shout out. How are you? What are you up to today? More ONI or something different? We built our fish reactor. It's not at full steam yet, but we are cooling down some stuff. The Thermo Aquatuner is running. The Gulp Fish are deleting the heat from the polluted water. So we can just keep running that, keep cooling down all this salt water we put in here. We've been dumping hot salt water on the map into here, and we got it quite cold now. We're just getting to the point where we can freeze this water. Ideally, I actually want to freeze the brine. That's kind of what I want to allow. None of this water is really getting above... Oh, wait, why are you taking cold damage? Oh. Only again, Jetsu fully online, finished saltwater tamer, do some base cleanup. Nice. I have never seen... I've never actually seen anyone use a jet suit in this game. Needs to happen at some point. You're overheating because you've been running constantly and there's no actual... liquid in here for you to grab. Okay, I'm going to set you to 50 degrees. I'm going to set you to 50 kilograms then. We can actually wait on that now. Settle down. You can actually be made out of... Oh, wait, no, that's not it. It's because we maxed Geotuned this polluted water vent. We are max geotuning a cool slush geyser for some fucking reason. Sorry. Because we want this water to be hot. That's what we want. Yeah, so that does actually need to be gold amalgam. Okay. Jet suits convert CO2 to petroleum in a way that generates mass when used in molten stickers. What? What are you talking about, Willis? Oh, right, because... petrol to CO2. It generates mass. So they, what, they convert like 100% of it? Or do they convert it into more CO2? What are the ratios? Love them to build the rocket fueling pipe without making a mess of ladders and everything? Yeah, lol. Oh, I'd be interested to see that. That sounds very silly. The dupes are bored, so they're drywalling everything. We can do some fresh white as well. Fresh white for the access shafts. You need to make sure you don't actually tile over the oxygen diffusers. Yeah, not like that. Yeah, we're literally just kind of waiting for the fish to reaccumulate. We accidentally murdered all the fish because we were dumping the hot polluted water from the natural gas generators in here. And that's actually fine, except we were also running the steel metal refinery. Also, I think I've accidentally filled this with too much polluted water somehow. But we're not actually supposed to be running this now. So. Wait, it burns 100 grams per second of petroleum and exhausts 300 grams per second of carbon dioxide? What? So you just have a dupe go back and forth in a jet suit and you're making positive mass? That's very silly. That's very silly. How have I not known that's a thing in this game? Now I'm sad. Now sour gas will bust need jet suits in the mix. No, it doesn't. I feel like the concept of that run is kind of run away with things. Nobody knows anything about jet suits. I actually made a YouTube short about jet suits. I'm gonna release it when I actually go on holiday. Because nobody ever uses them, and I thought it was funny. Right, can you actually just freeze the water? That's all I'm waiting for. But again, if you actually look at this, so the gas in here, it's between the two temperatures, but the gas is not very conductive at all. And that's why this whole setup works, is because even though you've got hot polluted water here and cold brine here, there's not enough temperature exchange for it to counteract the cooling effect from the Gulp Fish. Oh, you can build these. I guess you can do this too. Gotta get the drywall everywhere. Except for maybe the actual underwater part of the base. You're the exception to the rule, I guess. I use them every time I get a chance to set them up. Fair enough. Yeah, so we've got 9 fish in here. This water is going to freeze soon. So the liquid down here is actually a couple of degrees colder than the liquid up here. That's fine. I want to get this down to actual brine temperatures. That'll be easier once we have more fish being added. But I believe we're now at the point where the eggs are actually getting sent over, right? I guess we'll have to wait for some eggs to get laid. All I need to know about jet suits is they make pathing lag worse. They're slower to climb than ladders. Yes, that's true. Not exactly ideal for their intended use. Wait, did we dump some material here? Why are you set to green? Oh, it's because the round's just full. Oh, okay, yeah. Sure. Oh, right, because we manually filled it. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. You aren't laying eggs. Oh, right. This needs to be one critter less. Oh, I've done it again, haven't I? Oops. Get out of here. Yeah, you shouldn't be crowded at all. Well, that's not going to help us make any more eggs. They're all bored again. Dig this. It's not going to keep you busy very long. You're still doing the research as well. Okay, right. So we have the stuff out of here. That's good. So make them sweep debris. Oh, we could do that. Let me just show you something quickly. So if we actually save and load, you'll see what happens and why we've actually got the robo miners involved. The issue is, the water that's currently in the Gulp Fishes, when you load the game, it actually comes out as a tile. So that's not ideal, is it? You don't really know exactly where it's going to go. It depends on where the water is in flux at the time when you load in. So now if we play... Oh, it didn't do it. Oh. Did it all the time when I was testing it. Maybe this isn't quite cold enough yet. I think you have to catch one of the fish mid-poop. Oh yeah, that's what you have to do. You have to catch a fish mid-poop, so... If we I think generally you're right, but if you catch it when the water tile forms... I can't react fast enough. Oh, maybe it's actually alright. If you load it while you have a water tile here, it will freeze. I literally can't react fast enough. No, I'm being exposed as an old man. That's good though, isn't it? Well, you know what I'm talking about. But if it happens, it'll happen, and I'll show you later. But that's actually quite reassuring. That's good. Got the faster jet suit mod on though, makes it a bit nicer. Fair enough. Honestly, jet suits are so bad, I feel like that's actually justified. Right, why is this pipe actually getting triggered? That's no good. Oh, I bet it's because we've got an empty segment, isn't it? Right, I'm going to sneak one segment in here. Oh, wait, that's not going to work. That's having the exact opposite effect. Okay, so what I actually want to do is... No, that's not working either. Stop breaking everything. Oh, here's what I should have done originally. Let's put a bridge here. That works. Well, it's good that our system isn't going to break on its own. But I think we need to see what happens when the salt water turns into brine. And then we just start adding more salt water. Because I do want these fish to get colder overall. So when it cools down to minus 10.5, it will turn into 23% brine and 77% ice. Oh, that's going to take a while. I'm annoyed though. I want to let out just a small amount of water. In fact, maybe if we do this, that will actually do. And then we can't get in here. Let's see if we can coax our way into this. Because I want to make it so the fish just go down to the bottom layer. What? What? Oh. What? No! Well, I guess the hydrogen is being released. The stupid robo miners. Well, in any case, the saltwater level is dropping, so the fish could still go up here. Okay, let's do this as well. Okay, well, whatever. This is all released now, so who cares? That's so stupid. I've never had... I don't use robo-miners very often. I didn't even think that would happen. Oh, we just wall it off? Yeah, but it's hydrogen. Who cares? It's just going to go up here. I don't think it actually makes a difference. Right, release this tile. I want all the gulp fish to actually be down here. I think this will work. No. Okay, no, now it is working. But if they're over here, then it doesn't work, does it? Oh, actually, no, they aren't grabbing polluted water from that pile. I don't really want to make it larger. I wish I could just dump... Maybe I just dump a very small amount of this salt water out. They are just going up there occasionally. It actually looks like they're doing a bit of a loop. It's kind of weird. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just release a little bit of this. And then come back and do the rest. Okay, there we go. That's what we wanted to see. I think that means I can push this over here as well, and then we can put the water thing back. We just dumped slightly too much water in here, because we can't have the fish... If the fish are down here, then they're actually exchanging with the liquid. We need to try the teleportation suit mod. Wow, that sounds odd. Right, okay. I think I'm happy with this now. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what's going on with this. I think the loop is full now. Yeah, the loop's full now. That's good. Okay. I'm going to suppress notifications on this. And then we are going to take our screenshot. And then we're going to be done. We've actually done it. We've achieved fish-based cooling. So this is 40 degrees water. We got minus 6.4 up here. Thermo Aquatuners is running, but the ice production from these guys is deleting a lot of the heat. We're also deleting some of the heat out of this tank. You guys are not actually scalding. You're just the old fish, aren't you? We're definitely not running this. The ice is now dumping in here as well. And that is melting pretty quickly. So we are actively cooling this with the gulp fish as well. So we're cooling this tank from the natural gas water, and we're cooling all of this. Let's actually get a thermo shot as well. Maybe we do the thermo shot for a change? I think that's reasonable. Except you can't actually see the fish, but we've had enough fish on thumbnails recently. Oh, we're out of calories. Oh, God. Okay. We get more eggs back over here. I haven't seen any more eggs over here. I completely, Oh, whatever. Whatever, we're dealing with this for the final stream. That's fine. In any case, the experiment is working. We may just have to replant some of the mealworms and murder some of the excess Paku, but that's fine. Thanks so much for hanging out, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed today's stream. If you're still here from John Megacycles or Rednex Raids from earlier, thank you very much for sticking around. I do appreciate your company. It means a lot to me. If you like what you've seen, feel free to follow me on Twitch. If you're not already following, I stream weekday evenings, 7:30 to 10:30. There will be one more stream. I'm not sure what day it will be, but I will post on Discord when it will be. Maybe it'll be tomorrow. Maybe it'll be Friday. We got one more stream, and then I'm also going to do the Rust Melter Sandbox Showcase video before I go to Australia. And that'll be it. But all the VODs get uploaded to YouTube. If you miss a stream, it's all on there. While I'm on holiday, there's going to be a load of shorts that are coming out to do with some of the older videos. So if you haven't actually watched the older videos, keep an eye out for the shorts, and they'll give you the general gist. And yeah, we'll see how that does. Let's go raid someone. I think our experiment is at least partially successful, and I'm glad that the reload issue isn't as bad as I thought it was from initial testing. I would go raid Shen, but counter raid Shen, but it feels a little late for that now. I'm gonna go raid Further Reading, who's playing Rimworld. Let's see what that looks like. Further Raiding. Alrighty. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. I do appreciate it. We'll be back another day. Sleep well. Big fishy thoughts.